We are back. Men's couch.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so we're back. Sorry, there's like technical difficulties, but we're back. And today in the house is me, Micah.
Dimitri's back.
Miller.
Angie.
And today we're here to talk about an article about men's relationships with people and how we interact. So the article is called "Love, Friendship, and Bromance: A Guy's Perspective on Relationships." And for me, this kind of raised a lot of brought a lot of insight about how we relate to each other and how I feel that there could be potential for change. So, yeah. So the article talks about how limited that guys can feel in their friendships and how limited they're able to express their love for each other. And for me, for like kind of like my background, I'm a very affectionate person. You know that I like to give hugs and I like to just express like my gratitude for friendship. But however, even growing up as an affectionate person, I wasn't always open about that. I wasn't always just I didn't always take the initiative to express that because I always felt like it was rejected, and I always felt like it was weird. So I just kind of didn't do it because I was afraid of what people would say about that, like that passion for if I say I have to, like, I'm so excited to be your friend, or like I'm very passionate about that, then I'm afraid of like getting the side eye, so I wouldn't be as open about that. Yeah.
Wait, so sorry, maybe that's closer. So what changed?
What?
Because you said before you were afraid, but.
So what changed is over time I realized that men are like that because of the way that we're socialized, but we actually we're on a human level, people are actually want to be more open to being having more expression in their friendships. They just haven't been given permission to do that. Do you kind of understand? Yeah. So I kind of, after realizing that, I was like, I kind of don't care anymore what people say, and that was like kind of around the time that I moved to college, and people were more mature, and you meet people like Miller that are or that are open to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It definitely takes a level of maturity and knowing who you are and just being in touch with yourself, your sexuality, your masculinity. Just not everyone is going to be open, but I think that's why you just have to keep being yourself, because the people will find you, the right people.
Yeah, like what he said is that I think maybe around the time around like maybe high school, I wasn't around the right people, and I just kind of felt like something was wrong with me because people were repulsed by it. So they kind of were just they felt repulsed by what me expressing that. I was like, this is me, but I didn't realize that at a time. That's just like the nature of even in high school, people are just have that mindset about their masculinity, so they want to put on a certain maybe like a front or like mask that we talked about the other like last week, or they just want. Was that Chris? Sorry. So they want to put on that front because that is a way that it's more like a survival thing. They're trying to survive being rejected from their peers, and to do that is to refrain from that expression, because you don't want to be looked at as feminine.
Yeah. It's so weird in high school how we feel the need to fit in so much.
Yeah.
Like everyone, at least in my high school friend group, it was like terrifying to think about like being called gay, or even like
Yes.
acting gay, or just exuding that like
emotional side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because you don't want to be like rejected from your peer group, so you're just I feel like everyone in their individual friend groups are afraid of being like called gay, or okay, so let's like elaborate. When we say gay, we're meaning like in terms
What
of
is stereotyped as gay? Like feeling
not
emotions.
like not the actual like sexual orientation, but I feel like when people say that's gay, they're saying, okay, this is feminine, this is weak or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the actual, in most cases, not the actual sexual orientation. It's more like a set of like characteristics, and we don't want to be like we don't want to be seen as that. So we're like trying to fit, like you said, like fit into that with like maybe. I read a book. I've been reading this book. It's a good book about like high school masculinity, and it says that wait, I kind of forgot about it. But okay, it says that so when like you said, when we're in high school, people are going to be like more, they'd be like kind of like what the word is called, like hypersexualized, or they try to like have that like hookup culture, kind of like we talked about before. They'll try to like to fit in. They'll try to be like, oh, this is what I did to my girl or something like that. So they kind of like do that, and yeah. So I feel like that's a way to kind of avoid rejection in a way, but with so yeah, that it doesn't like create a safe environment. And so yeah, he says like the ideal of how guys should be is a toxic one. And I'm not saying I don't want the podcast to be about toxic masculinity. I'm not like gonna do all that. This is mostly about like our friendships and how we relate to each other, and the potential of how we could expand that based on our own individual personalities. And what I've found is that, like Miller said, there's other people like you. You just have to find them that are like accepting of that. And I think I talked to you the other day. Oh, another thing I wanted to bring up is, so the other day, me and Alex, when we were all watching Scream 2, and you notice how me and Alex were sharing in the same bed, and we were kind of like,
that was yeah.
Yeah, that was like a
sweet.
moment.
Yeah.
And Mara was like, "Aw," like it just.
I didn't say anything. I mean, I didn't. It was cool.
Yeah, so it was like stuff like that. Like me and Alex are both comfortable with that level of closeness, and I want to like be that example that this is like okay. This isn't weird. It's just we're just watching a movie. Yeah, like we're just
bros.
Yeah. So, but I feel like with maybe our culture or just in general, we're not able to have that closeness that we want because we're afraid of what it seems. It might seem weird. It's very quiet.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I feel like I'm really quiet.
Do you have any other questions? I think you do.
About what you said. I mean, I feel like we kind of like
talked about this before.
We have talked about this.
We did talk about this before, but I want to like elaborate on it more.
So I feel like what I've mentioned before is that it kind of depends on. I feel like obviously it depends on the person. Like obviously, like I know you well enough to be like, okay, like he's gonna want to hug, so I'll hug him. I'm gonna hug him. Like, I'm not gonna like.
Hopefully, that's good.
I'm not gonna like I'm not gonna like just leave you hanging or anything. But it's also like. Yeah, I don't know, because like with it kind of depends on who I'm with, and also like the situation. Like if I'm like in a couple weeks, like when I don't see people for a while, I'm gonna hug them, like regardless of who it is, like my close friends that I've met here. So I'm not gonna see them for like 3 or 4 months. So it's like
right.
Then I might, I don't know. For me, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't like I said, it depends on the situation. I'm not gonna always like hug someone unless it's like I'm leaving.
I know.
Wait, that's like most people though.
I know.
That's like most people.
And that's okay.
No, but that's like literally everyone. That's not just like a.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like because like I remember like when we last talked about this, it was like the day after, and then it was like, what is this?
Go, keep going.
Yeah. And it was the day after, like, we were, like, we were watching, like, a movie, like, you know, in the room, like, in the back, in the basement.
Yeah.
And,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, you and Royce were, like,
me and Royce were, like, kind of, like, cuddled, like,
and
together.
that's how, like, this topic started.
Yeah.
Because, like, that happened, and then I was like, well, no, what did I say? Oh, yeah, I was like, I don't know if that'd be me. I don't know. But, like, it also just, like I said, like, it depends on the situation. Like,
yeah.
That's basically all I'm saying. That, like, I feel like for me to be in that,
in like, that position, it would be. Do you think it would be comfortable with me versus with someone else?
Yeah, basically what I'm saying is because, like, I know you now. That's like, kind of how
you know
who
like who I like how my personality is. It's like very like
but also, well, like, we were kind of sitting next to, like, I was here and then you were on, like, the beanbag, so we were kind of like, you don't remember that? It was the same night.
I don't remember this at all.
Okay.
Yeah, like what?
But yeah. Anyways, that's all I was getting at. It basically depends on the person.
Yeah, and but just like in a general way, I feel like people that do want to have that level of closeness, I feel like it needs to be normalized, and I feel like people need to have permission to be that way. Because I think for me, I was like that like my entire life. Like that's how was my entire life with anyone, my cat, whoever. That's how I am with everyone. So I feel like just growing up like that, I think for me, it wasn't normalized around the people that were around me. So I felt that I was like the weird one because it wasn't normalized. So until you meet people like Miller or like that are just like very, very expressive about who they are, and like, you know, you give speeches and write poems, and like to some people that like seem weird. Yeah.
In my upbringing, I have 2 younger brothers, so it was always like we're just like wrestling each other, hugging each other, and it's really cool to look back on that now and just be like, wow, like I was really blessed to have that level of closeness with 2 other men at the time, boys. But I look at nature a lot, and all throughout nature you see that male species are so connected with other male species. With chimps, they bond, and there's like a hierarchy through the males, like combing each other's hair, and like I watched this documentary, and it's called what is it? Or something? Chimp Empire, I believe. But it's fascinating. They name every chimp, and it's just like a whole documentary on chimps, and you'll see that the male chimps bond through like this close, deep connection.
Yeah,
like but they're like cuddling with each other.
Yeah, and they don't have like an awareness of other chimps are gonna think this is weird.
Yeah,
they're not thinking that way.
They're not thinking.
And even like my cats, like even my cats, Bear and Sylvester, they're long gone. They were brothers, and they would always be like, you know, just next to each other and close to each other. So even like in that case, they are just it's just very normal for them, and it is not really thought of as anything more than it is. And which leads to my next point. Maybe like in our modern day culture, we kind of maybe sexualize like physical touch.
Yeah, but I mean, there's definitely
How so?
Because so
you're right.
What?
I think I know what you're saying.
Okay.
Oh, like you're gonna.
Do you want me to elaborate? Okay, so what I'm saying is that something that should be seen as like neutral and just like a hug, or like even like sharing a bed, like what me and Alex were doing, should be seen as just what it is, and people like perceive it as more than what it is what I mean by like in our modern day culture, we kind of like perceive something as more than what it actually is. That's what I mean. Maybe I feel like I've heard that it's not like that with women. I'm not too sure about that.
No, it's not. You can do most of those things comfortably, like hugging another woman or like being in the same bed as another woman.
Yeah.
So I think in that it's probably like a gender role thing.
Yeah.
That contributes to how people view like how weird it would be if like another man was in the same bed as another one.
Yeah.
Without identifying as like gay or anything.
Yeah. So they wouldn't perceive the other woman as like lesbian. They would kind of just I
mean, it wouldn't be the first thought.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first thought.
It would it's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of what I was researching while we were in the library, like my blue book. I had like a whole bunch of quotes. So it says in contrast, contemporary society holds a set of social meetings and prohibitions about homosexuality to such a degree that ordinary touches and certainly the act of sleeping together. So I would say like kind of like what me and Alex were doing. We were kind of like like in this like sharing the same bed.
Sleeping together?
No, we weren't sleeping together, but we were like it says are interpreted in homosexual terms when they occur. So it's like the way that it's interpreted to mean something that's more than what it actually is. So yeah, I don't know what that is. What do you think it is?
What is that?
Sounds like it's.
Oh, I guess wait.
So yeah, it's like it's interpreted in terms of more than what it actually is, and that's based on like what the person's name is Peter, I think Nardi or something. Yeah. So it's good. I'm like gonna write something about this because I like researching about this like a lot. I'm even like kind of writing a little bit about this, but I don't tell a lot of people because it's just I feel like it's an interesting topic that I feel like needs to be talked about. So
it's the perspective part is what I'm thinking about right now, because now that there are homosexuals in our society, there's obviously going to be people who think that, and just because it's so new, it's going to take a while for like these relationships to really get secure.
Yeah.
But I mean, the science is that men need other men.
Yeah, that's like the science.
Be with them and really allow us to flourish socially and mentally, physically, in every way. So it's really up to us to just be secure in our
to choose that.
Yeah,
to choose that we will go with not just science, but we will normalize it. To choose that
just for our own benefit. And if people want to think like, oh, you're gay, like who cares? Like if you don't want to feel like the love from another male, then I mean you're just missing out at that point.
Exactly. And that's like that. I think that's a good point, is that people I think they're like deep down they're afraid of it, but it's like at the same time they are kind of missing out on all like the benefits of just of that thing. And I like you read things in like scripture that are like what was that I don't know like the exact verse, but it's like John was like on Jesus's chest, and I'm just like that's so wholesome. That's like it's good. It's like it was normalized back then. In doing like the research, it was normalized through ancient cultures up to the 19th century, and that's when, and then you remember like
well, I remember seeing the article of that black and white photo of like the three guys.
Yeah, so it was normalized back then, and then
I mean, there's even the example of Jesus washing his disciples' feet. So
yeah. So like so it was normalized back then, but like it was like around the time like the late 19th century is when like Freud stuff came out, and all those theories on relationships and stuff came out, and that's when they kind of like that's when they associate certain like certain neutral acts like what you mentioned with that, or just physical closeness with sexuality. So that's when that kind of changed everything. Do you like understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like before that, it was when I'm reading like the research and historical things, and even like the scripture, it feels weird because that was normalized back then, and they just saw it as what it was. So, yeah. Do you have anything to add to that, Dimitri?
What, so like about it being like it was more normalized back then and like stuff like that. I mean, I remember reading briefly that article because like at first, I mean, I wouldn't say I didn't believe you, but it was more of just like, oh, okay, like maybe he's just saying this. Like I don't really know. Like, it's you saying this, and then it
What?
Well, I don't know. Like, you say things all the time. It's just like
Yeah.
that, and then it's just like, oh, okay, this could be true. And I was like, oh, okay, and it was.
Yeah.
I know, like for a while, because like me and my brother, like I have a bunch of brothers, but like my twin, we didn't like. I mean, like, we kind of like fought a lot when we were kids, but we were still kind of close and everything. But like we didn't really like. Honestly, like the first time, I probably like not like showed affection, like we like hugged and stuff, but like it took me a while. Like I think like we honestly didn't even say like the first time I said I love you to him was like, dude, it was like a year or two ago. It was like the first time, and we're like both like 19, 20 now, and it's made me think. I was like, it took us a long time to actually like we would show affect. Like, you know what I mean? Like we would like hug, be like, hey, what's up? But it'd be like actually like saying it. I don't know, and it made me think. I was like, I don't know why that took us so. I don't know. I guess like we're just, I don't know. Cause like it was more just like in like assume not like it was like an assumed thing. It's like, oh, he's my brother, of course, like I love him, like I'm not. So it's like
Yeah.
the fact that like I didn't like none of us really felt like we had to say it, and it was similar with like me and like my stepdad. Like it took me like a while to say it to him for the first time, but it was more just like, okay, he's my stepdad. Like I don't hate him or anything, you know. And it was more of like but then after a while, it's just like because he's like kind of old. It's just like, you know, I'm gonna say it. It's just like he's just like because just like put it out there like every once in a while, yeah.
And everyone expresses it differently. I'm just what I want to say on the podcast is, in our modern culture, do we have permission to do that? Which I think it's better. I think with Gen Z, I feel like it's kind of better because I keep hearing like the word bromance with Gen Z or like maybe millennials. I keep hearing that like, oh, it has like a bromance, but maybe on the sociological level, it's probably like kind of changing back to what it was because I think because it's just, I don't know if it's because the normalization of like LGBTQ people, or is it just that like Gen Z's more aware, like are more emotionally like expressive. That's a good research thing, but I feel like I don't know what it is, but I feel like maybe Gen Z men might be like reversing that, but like generations past, it like boomers or maybe before that, I feel like it might be a little bit harder for them to do that because of like the culture that they were raised in. And I was reading right here. So what the guy says, he says, strive for healthy, emotionally intimate friendships, but be careful. If you appear too intimate with another man, you might be negatively labeled homosexual. So basically what he's saying is that we, like I said before, we limit our expressions because of that fear that we kind of have of what other people might perceive it as. And I think a solution to that is to do it, like, number one, do it in the right context, but try to like Sam said yesterday, just try to lean into it and do it, because it's going to be uncomfortable and awkward. And it still is awkward for me, like even sharing a bit with Alex. I still feel a little awkward with it because what?
I didn't know that.
What?
I didn't know that was awkward for you. That's interesting.
Because even though like he's we're very close. He's my roommate, and he really doesn't care. And like for me, it's because I'm still like unlearning that mindset of that it's weird to have this level of closeness with your friend. So I'm just like still dealing with that. I don't know what the static is today, but yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
We're back.
So.
I'm sorry. Oh, there we
Okay.
go. What? Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay, no,
We're
back to
good.
it. Okay. Anyway. Like back to what you were saying. You know, it's hard to unlearn it for sure, but also like it depends like how, because like kind of depends like how close I am with someone too, because like, and also like the circumstances. Like I feel like when I was younger, I was more inclined to do it when I was around like middle school, but also like.
What do you mean more inclined to do what?
Oh, like just like be in like a bed with like my friends, like another guy. Basically.
Why do you think you're more inclined to do it when you're
Just
back
because like
then?
I don't know, I just like I didn't really care. I mean I don't know, like I'd
Maybe
barely.
because like as a child you don't like think about that.
Yeah, I didn't really
Just,
think
like,
about it at all.
It's like like
I kind of just
you're
like,
just like boys are just naturally like that, and that's what I read it in like the research. Like boys have the same level of emotional like expression as girls do. It's just when we're going through adolescence and that socialization process, they kind of like lose that part of themselves a little bit because again, they're trying to fit in, they don't want to be rejected, so they kind of like lose that part of themselves, and that their like mindset of masculinity is that we don't do that. But when you're a boy, you're not thinking about that, you don't really care.
yeah, but like also another thing that I was thinking about that like can make it like the like unchange the mindset is that like there's like people that I know that would like the people that I know that would like not like they would like say something about it basically if like you know what I mean, like they would like if they were like aware that I was doing it, they'd be like it would be like made a bigger deal than it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's like another thing that like I have to like I don't like I mean subconsciously think about. I'm like, oh okay, well like as long as it's like we're like that's why I said it depends on the people.
Yeah.
Because like yeah. That's basically what yeah.
So you're afraid? Are you maybe afraid of like other people's perceptions of it, or just?
I mean, kind of, but it's just also like I mean, like because like they would like what I'm saying is like it'd be hard for them to understand.
Okay. Like maybe like the older generations.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I thought you were going along the lines of like when we're kids, like there's always that one friend who'll be like,
That too.
"Oh, that's gay."
No, that's the same.
Oh yeah. In high school, that was like that's.
Yeah, it's like every group has that friend.
Yeah. And then it's like, "Oh my, you don't think like, dude, what are you saying? Like I'm not gay, like
Yeah.
what? We're
Yeah.
just like good friends." You're like, "No. What?
Every group
I'm
has
not,
that friend, bro. They always
I
blow
got
out
it."
of proportion.
And then it's just like, "All right, well, I can't do that anymore. I'm not going to be called gay." Like
Yeah. So you
See?
limit. So that's when you limit yourself based on other people's perceptions. You limit
Yeah.
who you are, and you
Yeah.
try to like you don't.
But it's
Yeah.
like there's nothing we can do because we're not at that emotional maturity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, how do we, like, what do we have like a seminar on being gay or something in high
There's
school?
not much you can do.
I
There's
don't
not
Like,
much-
know.
there's
I
literally
feel
like it's just our society. It's so
I feel like, for me, I feel like it was about leading by example. Maybe not like in high school, but now it's more of like just being that example and just that one person that will break the trend of just this, because this is what you showing that this is what I value, and you don't have to let those let those people determine what like who you are. So I think it kind of has to do with that, but it is very difficult.
yeah. It's like, what do we even call like a male like bond like that? Because it's either like feminine or just gay. Like, what is the word for that?
It's just a friendship.
It's just a
Just
normal
like
friendship.
an intimate friendship, like
Just
a
a normal
close
brotherhood.
brotherly love.
Yeah.
Yeah, my guy. I get it.
Yeah. I have a question for you over there. Why did you?
Sorry. I thought you were.
So how has so I think I asked this before, but how is meeting me? How is that knowing that I'm a very affectionate person? How does that change your mindset on things?
I mean, it kind of changes it in the sense that I guess I'm more open to it. I mean, I'm more open to it than I was because
in the past.
I mean, I guess, but also what I was saying, it I feel like I keep repeating myself, but because I knowing you.
Yeah.
Knowing you, it's
yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. That's what I mean. But it's the same answer. It's all right.
But before, how has my me being affectionate and very very expressive? How does that change your view of friendship from whereas before you met me?
I mean, yeah, I guess just being, affirming people more, I guess, maybe.
Okay.
Depending, maybe my brother or something, cause cause you do that constantly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I probably do that more, I would say, and then the being close to another man is a work in progress, but.
So for you, it's a work in progress.
Well, hugging's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what do you mean by being close to another guy? You said it's a work in progress.
Like laying in a bed. Yeah.
Okay, so for you, it's a progress of coming to accept that and be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Angie, you're kind of quiet over there.
Yeah, I'm just listening.
Yeah. Do you have anything any insights or anything?
I feel like the reason why a lot of people don't feel particularly men, they don't feel welcome to participate in a true, genuine, intimate friendship with another man is probably because as society has developed, there's been I guess new ideas of what masculinity is.
Okay.
So it's the stereotype, and they feel if they do that, people will talk and friends will call them gay or whatever, and they'll feel it'll be an attack on their masculinity. So
okay,
does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And the thing with for Miller, you're very expressive with who you are. You're just I feel with people like that, it's easier for people to feel welcome because you want to show the love of God through you by just being open, and that's that's I think that's if we're open to that and people are comfortable with it, then I think that's when it will just be more normalized.
Yeah.
Would you say that being a believer has helped you be more open to?
Yeah, definitely. Be more open and just have more faith in my masculinity, I guess.
Feel secure.
Yeah. Just if someone calls me gay, who cares?
So now that we've kind of established that being intimate in relationships isn't masculinity, how would you define masculinity?
Dang.
That's brutal.
She's cooking today, dang. Is it for everyone or just?
Yeah.
How would I define masculinity is basically, I would define it as, for me, and masculinity, I feel like masculinity is just different for everyone. Everyone's, how God made each man is going to be different. For me, it's always just embodying the characteristics of the spirit and the kindness, the patience, the compassion, and being open, basically all those characteristics. That for me is how what being a man is, and whether that be my role is whether it's a friendship or whether people are a father or just a mentor, whatever. I think that's just or someone like Gary. We love Gary.
Yeah,
So
he is.
someone like that is what being a man is you embodying those characteristics for other people. And it's not it's not really like I don't that's what it is. So I think if we're secure in that, then we'll feel more comfortable expressing, like being more emotionally expressive in our friendships if we have that secure like identity. I forgot. I do.
That's true, actually.
I have a leadership meeting in 10 minutes. I forgot about that. It's okay. It's good.
You want to wrap up?
No, we don't have to wrap up now. It's like if you like, just do our final thoughts.
Yeah, that question really stumped me, because like in the Bible, it's like men are providers.
Yep, exactly.
And
That's my first thought.
But then I think like being a man is finding the woman that suits you, and then like it's not masculine or feminine anymore. It's like you are both together and you are both able to like equally complement each other, so that
So you would say that masculinity is attributed to romance?
This is brutal.
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't
I
even
just think it's
like if you have your wife,
She's cooking today. She's
It's
she's
like-
whipping it out.
it's like there's no need to be masculine or feminine. It's just like you both have respect for each other.
Is
And
this our next podcast?
You both do what you need to learn and provide for your family and for each other. So it's like if that means providing for, I don't know. It's so,
For me,
I don't know.
okay, so for me, masculinity is showing up for people, for my friendships. Masculinity is
Yeah.
helping Dimitri with his research paper.
Oh yeah, that's really
Like
helpful.
like
really
that's
helpful, yeah.
that's what I see it as.
Yeah,
It's
but like
it's
shouldn't
helping.
women be that same thing? Like
Like, what
helping,
do you mean?
like wouldn't that just be
Support,
like
yeah.
Angie would want to do that to her friends too? Like
Yeah.
it's like the same thing.
But it's just, yeah.
Like why is masculinity always attributed to like strength and like not showing your emotions?
Oh.
It's like
Okay.
You always say oh. You always
I
say,
guess
oh.
you could ask the same thing about feminism. Why is like being like feminine are associated with like cooking or stuff like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
So maybe it's the
True.
roles then in our society
gender roles.
yeah. I don't know. Like
that are not
Do
necessary.
you think they matter to a certain degree?
I would say that they're not necessarily like I try not to be so controversial when we're doing this.
yeah.
But
I mean-
I would say they're not necessarily like biblical. Like it doesn't say okay, women just like cook. I feel like it's something that like developed in like American society.
Yeah, like I feel like cooking, the man
I
and the woman,
cook and garden.
right? Like
So,
the man and the woman
I-
can come together
Yeah.
and cook and clean
Yeah.
and garden and provide for the family. It's like why is it always one or the other? It should just be like an equal, like equality. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. Like masculine or feminine. Why not just come together as
Mhm.
one and just provide?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because like the I guess like the basis of American society is kind of like what I say like patriarchy is during like, and this is not like necessarily now, it's kind of like it's changed now with like women's rights and everything, but
Mm.
before, like for a while, it's like the guy goes out to the mills and he
Mhm.
works in the mills and he comes back to the wife. The wife
Yeah.
just takes care of the, that's how it was like for in my generation's
Yeah.
past. When like my grandmother tells me like, oh, my dad just went out to the mills and
Mhm.
just
And that made sense because men are stronger and they can do more physical labor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that makes sense. But in our current society where we're just in an office all day and like there's not really a physical labor aspect of it, and men and women are both on equal
Abilities, like
intellectual
yeah.
abilities,
Yeah.
it just is so baffling to me. Like,
Mhm.
it would make sense for our Congress and our leaders to be 50-50 men and women. Like, they both have something to offer to the table.
Yeah.
And so it's just, yeah, I don't know.
To be continued.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really
you
was.
liked it?
Like, yeah.
It was good.
I guess I
Yeah.
kind of made
How
up
was
for my
that?
silence.
For
No,
real.
that's a good-
that
yeah.
really made me think there.
Yeah. I think that's something like to think about, like what we define as just what masculinity is, and why we associate associate like things like physical closeness or emotional expression with femininity. So like why is
Yeah,
that when we
and-
have where God shows all emotions? He has like
Right.
all emotions.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus wept.
Yeah,
That's
Jesus-
a
yeah.
verse. I think it's a
Yeah.
shortest verse, but it's
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
he showed
wow.
emotion. So
Yeah.
Literally, I don't know. What a great
Very good
question.
discussion. Dang.
Wow.
I don't have much else to say. I do want to. I think this is like a to be continued thing. I want to
Yeah.
like discuss this next week.
What is masculinity?
should we do that part 2? What's masculinity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say, Mr. Dimitri?
I do, but if you have a meeting, I don't want to hold you up.
What do you have
Oh,
to say?
I have a poem called.
Oh yeah, you're a poem. Yeah.
No, it'll be for next week because it's
Okay.
called "Oh, the Patriarchy."
Oh okay.
Oh, okay.
You just
Interesting.
thought of that?
No, I wrote this like last week,
Okay.
but
yeah,
I just
he's-
thought that it perfectly ties
What a
in.
he's like-
coincidence.
He's really he's a talented person here. But what do you
No,
have to
no,
say?
the Lord guides
I'll save
me
it for the
too
next time.
well.
I'll save it for the next time.
Okay.
To be continued?
To be continued.
To be continued.
All right, listeners. We hope you enjoyed
Thanks for
our
listening.
discussion, and this is to be continued. Yeah.
Bye.
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 Bye.